lovely fall Saturday afternoon here in St. Louis. Another great midday jamboree from Fred Gamer. You would expect nothing less. Check out an archive stream of that or any of the great shows anytime up to 2 weeks after they are initially broadcast here. Well, we're going to kick off today's backcountry by going straight to our performance studio where we have got standing by the Slocan Ramblers. Take it away, boys.
1, 2,
Won't you give me 6 minutes of the precious time? If you give me 6 minutes, I'll give you 10 mine. I know in those moments you learn that all be true. Won't you give me 6 minutes and just sit alone with you? I see you passing through the corner of my eye. Oh, the prettiest thing to ever come rambling by. Oh, ever come rambling by. Well, I'm sitting on the grass all alone, hill to climb. Won't you give me 6 minutes of the precious time? If you give me 6 minutes, I'll give you 10 mine. I know in those moments you learn that all be true. Won't you give me 6 minutes and just sit alone with you? Now the moment is a lifetime pass and go. Earth to dust, dust to ground, and the path just moves along, and the path just moves along. Where the earth spins under our feet, leading the wrong. Won't you give me 6 minutes of your precious time? If you give me 6 minutes, I'll give you 10 of mine. I know in those moments you learn that all be true. Won't you give me 6 minutes and just sit alone with you? The 30 seconds surely won't have truth to find. It's just a moment, not enough to pay your mind, not enough to pay your mind. Well, I'm staring at the trees and the clouds, just look for a sign. Won't you give me 6 minutes of the precious time? If you give me 6 minutes, I'll give you 10 of mine. I know in those moments you learn that all be true. Won't you give me 6 minutes just to sit alone with you?
Good afternoon, Slocan Ramblers, and welcome to St. Louis.
Afternoon.
For backcountry listeners, this is Keith Dudding. You may know me from Down Yonder. I was on earlier today. Thank you to Jeff Corbin for letting us poach a little bit of your time to bring you this live session with the Slocan Ramblers. Why don't you give us the introductions of the band so the folks who are listening know who you are?
Yeah, certainly. So the Slocan Ramblers. We're down here from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We're actually on the very last show right now of a bit of a month-long tour. We started off in Ohio, worked our way to the IBMA conference in Raleigh, and then did about 2 or 3 weeks working our way back up. So this is our very last show before heading home. And this is Adrian Gross playing the mandolin. To my left, we got Frank Evans on the banjos, and that's
Hello, Frank.
banjos plural. You'll see in a minute. This is Alistair Whitehead playing the bass, and this is Daryl Polson playing the acoustic guitar for you all.
Welcome. Good to have you here. You're the first Canadian band we've had on Down Yonder, so I appreciate that.
Nice.
And I have to ask, what is it about bass players? Because, like, now the songs from the road band, Charles Humphrey III, you have Alistair Whitehead. You have all such distinguished names. Playing bass, you should be also hosting, like, BBC TV shows or something.
Bass players, generally speaking, are quite distinguished.
Quite distinguished, quite distinguished. This is visual because I got 2015, the first one, Coffee Creek, immediately liked the band. And then 3 years later came this one. I go, new Slocan Ramblers release, great. And then, this might be a question for Frank. For those watching on YouTube, Frank, you're the artist who gave us the cover to Queen City Jubilee.
I may have been, yeah.
What vibe were you going for here? Because it's a very evocative cover. I'm just wondering what you were trying to evoke.
Well, you know, if the apocalypse is coming, maybe bluegrass will be the deciding factor of what actually, or the straw that breaks the back. But I used to do a lot of comic book art when I was a kid.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was really big into that style of art, and big fan of Robert Crumb. And I hadn't practiced those skills in a while,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like playing music, where when you haven't practiced or you're not in practice, you don't have as much ability to manipulate it. So when I originally sat down and tried to paint this picture, it had a very just a happy tone in my mind of this guy joyfully dancing on a pier with his banjo, and a beautiful city lit by fireworks in the background, and it ended up being a little more apocalyptic than
And that is the Queen City Jubilee.
yeah.
And so, band, when he presented it and said, "Hey, I did this," was it kind of like, "Yeah, that's it," or was it kind of, "Yeah, okay, Frank, I guess that's the"? Because I'm just remembering like Billy Joel's "River of Dreams"
Right.
album, where Christy said, "Billy, look, I did a cover for you," and I'm sure Billy said, "Oh, that's great, thanks, Christy." Not saying that led to the divorce, just right there. Tell us about the Canadian bluegrass, because I know how folks, I expect, it's much the same as it is down here, but how did you come up in the music? Were there an older generation that you learned from and played with, or are you like the first generation of pickers in your area? That's a jump ball for the band.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of have different stories. Sure. To sort of tell how we got into it and different generations and such.
There's a million stories in the Naked City and 4 stories in this band. Here's Alistair's. What's yours?
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of came to it in different ways. I think that, folk music and bluegrass music kind of became a part of our lives at maybe different times. But Toronto, actually, it's a city with a really great kind of roots music scene, and particularly a really good bluegrass and old-time scene. And I think the band culminated anyways, kind of meeting, going to a lot of those shows. There was one in particular that happened every Wednesday at a place called the Silver Dollar, which was a pretty dirty dive bar in Toronto. It was like $3, and they had a band playing there called the Foggy Hogtown Boys. I guess at that point it was called Crazy Strings, but they were an incredibly good band, and it was just a great hangout. And so we always used to kind of find ourselves there on Wednesday nights, and it was kind of a great kind of gateway into the music. And seeing the music live, I think really, for me personally, really kind of captivated me, and kind of was what got me kind of fully into the music. And it's been downhill ever since.
So if you're in Toronto on a Wednesday night, the Silver Dollar is the place to be. It's not there anymore.
It's not. Unfortunately, it had like a 17-year run or something.
That's pretty good.
20 something.
I mean, who knows how? Nobody knows how long it actually was. But it was a long run, but I think it went the way of gentrification, and that got bulldozed. And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Now, I was saying Slocan. Do you emphasize Slocan? Sorry, like Spokane, the city in Washington.
Yes, and actually,
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
I've only read it. I've never heard it, so I
That
was
was fine. The Slocan Ramblers. You heard it here first.
And for more information about this band, you can find their website, Slocan Ramblers, just like that.com. Why don't you hit us with another one?
Yeah.
Here they are now corrected, the Slocan Ramblers.
We'll play one off that Queen City Jubilee record with a quite evocative cover, I suppose. This is one that Alistair wrote. This is called First Train in the Morning. 1, 2, 3.
take this love from me, Lord, set it on down the line. First train in the morning, that pretty girl of mine. 'Cause she's so fair and pretty, like you never seen. I can't get no rest, I'm dreaming of my girl and Lee. Just the thought of it helps me carry on, like the comfort of an old country song. Well, I'll be on that train just as soon as I can. She's gonna take my name, Lord, I'm gonna be her man. Oh, it's goodbye, Alberta, mountains and the plain. It's back to the Atlantic, I'll never roam again. Just the thought of it helps me carry on, like the comfort of an old country song.
Thank you so much for doing that one. That was from Queen City Jubilee, and that was cut 7. I got to tell you, I do a top 10 list for every year, and if you didn't know, this was on my top 10 list for 2018. I took an immediate like to it, and when I hit that song about midway through the CD, I said, yes, I really like this, because it follows the excellent cover of Long Chain Charlie in Moundsville. So if you're going to do a cover, and you cover something from Don Stover's Things of Life, you score bonus points with me.
Yeah, that's a great record, huh?
Oh, it's a wonderful record. Yes, that's like top 10, one of my top 10 all-time records, Desert Island stuff right there. Well, we've lost our banjo player. I guess he had to go off and change the string or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Off the tune. Careful tuning for next tune, yeah.
and that's one of the things I like about this band is that in addition to playing the grass, which you do, you also have like an old-time influence. You've got a banjo player, now off tuning, who does both the Scruggs style and plays the climber, which is
totally.
a lovely touch. Tell us about, is this your first time in the States or this time deep in the States?
I mean, we've been touring the States pretty heavily since like 2014 or 2015. This is our first time in
St. Louis.
Yeah, and it's our first time kind of in the Midwest, really. We've done maybe a little bit of like getting into the Midwest, but this is our first time like really in here. We've pretty much up until now just done Colorado, the West Coast, and the North and Southeast. We do a lot.
Yeah.
From New England down to the Carolinas and back, that type of thing. But we haven't been this far into the Midwest yet. So yeah, we're excited to be here. It's always cool to come to a new area and do that whole thing.
Well, glad to have you here. It's been a long time coming. We're glad to have you here. You come recommended me by 2 people who were just through town. I asked Joe Newberry, who was here with Mike Compton. I said, have you heard the Slocan Ramblers? He says, I just heard. I think he just saw you at IBMA.
Yep.
He said you're going to love him. Good. And Stephen Mogen, who plays with Sam Bush, posted a video of you from the station in. So,
nice.
He was just through town with Sam. So it's been like there's been a big buildup. And you're not disappointed. And of course, you're in town to play the Oak Tree Concert Series, otherwise known as Randy Kilper's Backyard, in Barnhart, Missouri. 8 o'clock this evening?
I believe so. I'd have to double. Yeah,
we'll sort that out. And more information about that is at Randy's website, which is simply oaktreeconcerts.com. So if you're interested in seeing this band live, you got a chance to do so tonight, and then it's back up to Canada with you.
We may drive back tonight after the show is the plan. Just a clean 12 hours. We figure we'll, get on the road by 10 or 11 and
there's
back
4 of
home.
you. You can split up the driving. And I hope it's not a long time before you come back, because I've enjoyed this, and while you're outside playing, I'll be outside playing somewhere else, thinking of you. So I won't get to see you
Have a
this
good gig,
evening.
man.
Yeah. Oh, you too.
Thank you.
Once again, the Slocan Ramblers. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure.
thank you if you've supported KDHX over the last 3 decades.
Easy.
If you enjoy and value what you hear on this station and have never made a gift before, please give KDHX a birthday present with a gift.
thanks for having me.
Oh, really enjoyed it. Next time, come back so I can see you next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Back with the backcountry.
Oh, really
Thanks to the Slocan Ramblers and Keith Dudding for providing us with that
talking about me?
fine live entertainment.
Talking about you?
there from our
What's that?
performance studio. There'll be at Oak Creek Concerts tonight down in Barnhart if you want to catch
Awesome.
some
Well,
easy
thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Nice coffee.
All right. We're going to get back to the music here. Had a request last week for the Stanley Brothers and this one in particular.
Everything was amazing.
Tremolo.